What's up, go? Whoa. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another trade recap. Been a little bit because I don't think we. Actually, no. On Wednesday, took a trade in the airport. Actually, London session trade. Freaking banger. So didn't post a trade recap for that. And then Thursday, obviously, we didn't trade. And then Friday, obviously, we didn't trade. Thursday, Thanksgiving. Friday was just terrible price action. Black Friday, like, obviously, we had that market halt too, so pretty weird. But anyways, we did end up taking a trade today. We actually missed like a beautiful setup. I think I was scrolling reels, unfortunately, so that's why we missed that setup. But we ended up going break even today. We made like $6 off the break even trade. But anyways, we're gonna go over the trade, everything we looked at, everything we saw, all of that. Everything. You know the drill, okay? We've done these long enough. You know the drill. I'm also on my mouse not on my mouse right now, so it's gonna be a little tricky for me to move around. My mouse is dead, so bear with me here, please. Okay, so coming out of the morning, right? We're looking here. Screw you, Cyber Monday. Okay, looking at the charts here, right? So we actually did end up inversing this back to the downside. We're inside of this 4 hour, right? Everything points to we're probably going lower, right? But what do the charts say? They say F you. We're not going lower, right? The hourly, same sort of thing, right? No fair value gaps or anything, but it looks like we're pushing higher. Also have this fair value gap up here, which we ended up tapping into in the AM. But everything points to we're probably going lower, right? So coming on in the morning, your boy was looking for, something to take us a little lower. So my draw on liquidity coming into the morning was London low, Asia low, and then we also had, see, this is the part that sucks because I don't have a mouse, I have to freaking zoom like this. We also had some lows down here, right? Some stacked lows, potentially could have hit those, taken those out, continued back to the upside, right? Now, however, want to be reactive as well because we did have these highs up here, this low resistance liquidity, right? We have some low resistance liquidity like that, right? You're thinking, a little weary about that. So I was waiting, right? Because we did have this low resistance liquidity to the upside. We had high here, high here, high here, high here, high here, right? One short move can take all that out, as you can see with this candle right here. Boom, that little candle took all those out. All right, so you got to be a little weary about that, right? So at this point, I'm thinking, we could either go higher, we could go lower. Whichever one we sweep out first, we're probably going to reverse and go towards the other one, right? So that's what we're thinking in the morning. And what did end up happening, right? We came down here, we swept out this London low on NQ, created an SMT with ES. ES did not take this out. And at the same time, ES was also inside of this 5-minute gap right here when we swept out that value, right? So there's your confirmation, like, okay, that's fucking beautiful. And we also tapped into this 5-minute gap that had gotten previously filled. Still counts just because we swept this low inside of there. I count that, right? Fucking beautiful. Then all you need, inversion back to the upside. Ended up having a 30-second inversion, which would have been beautifully, would have probably entered your trade like right here. Could have targeted this high. Crazy RR of like 1 to 4 or something like that. Would have been a crazy trade. That's a trade that I should have taken. However, pretty sure I was scrolling reels because I don't know how I would have missed this if I was like actually looking at the chart, because this is like an A+ setup. So I definitely was scrolling reels, unfortunately, but it happens. It'll happen. So nothing to be too worried about. Just a single trade, although would have probably fed my family, fed multiple families, as you can see. Beautiful trade. But it's all good, right? So then we look for another trade in the day. What ended up happening? Okay, so we're continuing to push higher at this point. We're thinking probably going to continue back up higher, right? What ends up happening? Well, we formed this little 5-minute right here. I believe there's also 5-minute on ES right here, as you can see. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, probably going to push higher, right? Delivery off this 5-minute continuation back to the upside, right? Because if we're pushing off of, these fair value gaps and we've inversed this 4 hour at this point, this 4 hour gap right here, right? We've inversed that. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to push higher. So we got a little retest of this 5-minute. And then we got a 1-minute inversion to the upside, as you can see right here, right? This trade wasn't that great. I would rate this probably like a B plus setup. I was decently confident in it. Just targeted a 1-to-1 here, stops below the swing low. Unfortunately, we got break evened. We made like $6, like I said, which was good because we didn't end up going back down. But I do think we're going to continue back up. So we'll probably eventually hit that TP. But your boy caught the beginning of a reversal to the opposite side. Realistically, hindsight's always 20/20. Probably shouldn't have taken this trade. I was just a little baffled that I had missed this one in the first place. So I was like, wow, no way I missed that. Probably forcing a trade a little bit, but it wasn't like a terrible trade. So if you took this trade, not a bad trade at all. You would have gotten break even, totally fine. Anyways, but it's whatever. Not a great day, not a great start to December. Although price action looks pretty good. We did have this beautiful, right, and then this also technically counts as AMD, right? Accumulation, manipulation higher, sweep out this high, little distribution lower, probably back down into a 5-minute gap down here somewhere. Yep, this 5-minute gap right there. So it's a beautiful trade. That's perfect. This would have been a good trade too, to continue back to the upside off of that. That would have been fire too, I think. But anyways, yeah, not a bad trade. Just sometimes it's how it goes, right? You miss your setups. I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Like, you can beat yourself up, right? And you can do what I did and slightly force a trade, right? It wasn't that bad of a trade. Just probably should have been thinking like, okay, do I really want to take this trade? Probably not, right? If this was the first trade of the day, probably wouldn't have taken that trade. But I'm in the headspace of, damn, I just missed out on $1,500. Like, I want to make more money. So that's why you can't get in that headspace. And got into the headspace a little bit, and it will happen, right? It'll happen to the best of us. So just can't get too upset about it. It's truly whatever. There's multiple days to come. Just the beginning of December. Price action looks good so far. Hopefully we can keep this up at least for the rest of the year. Chill, at least for the rest of the year, and then we should be chilling. And as we're speaking, right, we're probably going to hit this freaking value. That is my take profit. But, however, that is going to be it, right? Let me know what you guys took down in the comments below, what trades you took, what you saw, what is drawing liquidity, right? Any questions you have, all that jazz, let me know down in the comments. I'll get to it and let you guys know, whatever it is, bro, hit me up. You got a question, don't matter. And we just hit my TP. So, right, we're continuing back to the upside. This was a nice retrace. This would have been a good trade right here. Actually, now that can you stop? Oh, I forgot I didn't pay for TradingView Premium because I just trade on Project X. There's no point. 1 minute inversion right here. Oh, beautiful retest of that as well. Some sauce, guys. We're dropping some sauce here real quick, okay? A lot of the times when an inversion is valid and you know that an inversion is valid and you're like, okay, yeah, that's a valid inversion, we're continuing in that direction, is when you get a nice healthy retest, okay? A lot of the times, like obviously here, right, we got a 30-second inversion. We did actually get a retest. We got a retest of that inversion too. But anyways, when you get an inversion like this, a lot of the times you'll have a value retest and then continue back to the upside. As you can see, 1 minute inversion inverse both of these, right? Boom, retest, continuation back up. This would have been a fucking beautiful trade. 5 minute right there, probably equilibrium, most definitely equilibrium of this range as well. All this is chicken right here. Yeah, equilibrium, target these highs right here. Holy butter. 15-minute gap as well. Oh! Yeah, that would have been chicken right there. So if you took this trade, yeah, good shit. But yeah, usually you get the inversion, the retest. So a lot of the times I will, set a limit order at this inversion if it's too high and I don't like it, right? And then, it'll come back in, retest that value, boom, chicken, back to the upside. This would have been a fucking beautiful trade too, a little 4-to-1. But anyways, that's going to be it. I'll wrap it up there. But yeah, that is going to be it, guys. Check you tomorrow if we take a trade tomorrow. The Can you stop? The forecast looks beautiful this week. The news and everything like that, beautiful. Every day is tradable this week, so very, very good, very, very great. So if I take a trade tomorrow, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I don't take a trade tomorrow, you won't see me tomorrow, right? And that's the that's gonna be it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. What else? Turn post notifications on so you know when I upload every time, so you can come watch my trade recap, see the trade that I took. Anyways, that's gonna be it, boys. I will catch you guys later. Peace out.